Happy Halloween! Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
I do.
The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names and the artwork, and finally picking out the movie you were going to take home with you.
Yes.
Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house, but there was something truly special about making that trip, picking a movie out by hand, and finding out that the bridge on your way home has collapsed.
Son of a biscuit.
Son of a biscuit. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte, and joining me as always, one guy who loves horror movies and another who can't stand them. I'll let you determine who's who. Sean Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck are ya?
If you've been listening this long, come on. Look at my shirt.
Yeah. He doesn't even appreciate the classics. He just...
What?
What?
These are classic dudes.
What are you talking about? Oh.
That's Christopher Lee.
Christopher Walken.
And that's Boris Karloff. and that's Lon
And
Chaney.
that's Teen Wolf.
Yeah, that's Michael J. Fox.
Dick Cheney and what?
Maybe this perhaps could be
Joe
someone's
Biden.
first episode. This could be someone's first episode. You never know. It's kind of our first foray into the true horror genre. So if you're new, we're happy to have you. Sean loves them. AJ hates them.
so
We're going to
excited.
see what happens.
I like that you started off with a big vape rip, Mike. I didn't know you started vaping.
If people know me. They
Yeah.
know I vape.
Yeah, you're a vape king.
I spit huge clouds of awesomeness into the air.
You rip fat rips.
And I wait for people to just be like, bro, that was awesome.
Ripping fat clouds with Mike Schulte. That's his next podcast.
You rip a cloud and then you write in it, and you don't talk. You just like, let's go.
And then I get on a motorcycle, just go, vroom, 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 vroom.
Yes.
This is the new me.
While
new
blaring
me.
your 24-inch JBL speaker of Five Finger Death Punch.
It's the new me. Fatherhood has changed me.
Changed him. He's a new man.
Well, boys, on this episode, we discuss our first NC-17 rated movie, a movie with the rating of Video Nasty in the UK. The first movie in a series of 4 total movies spawning video games, TV series, comic books, and even a musical. Considered by many to be one of the greatest horror films of all time, The Evil Dead. In order to properly dissect and review this movie with a modern eye, we must first discuss it with pure nostalgia. AJ, let's start with you. Tell us the first time you saw this movie and what your nostalgic rating is.
I don't want to. Move on.
Haven't seen it. Anyway.
I don't think I've only seen bits and pieces. I figured out kind of that this was the precursor to some of what I had seen, which is like Army of Darkness, right? Or something like that. And that's very iconic to me in my head of horror genre stuff. Hadn't really seen much of this for obvious reasons. It just never really crossed my path. That's a big old NA from AJ.
Well, I'm going to skip over to myself. We'll let Sean have the floor. This was something I never seeked out. Like, I had always seen... I know what this movie is, and I had always seen enough parts to feel like I can give it a rating, but I never wanted to watch it. And anytime I did see it, it was at a friend's house, a cousin's house, and I would instantly come up with a reason to leave. Like, I mean, I didn't like scary things as a child.
No.
So for me, like, anything possession and demons, no fucking thanks. But I will give it a rating. It's a 2 for me. Like, it was not something. It was not something I wanted to watch back in the day. Sean, what about you, man?
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm the dude. I'm the here. I'm
the dude here.
Of the here.
I'm the here
of this place.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, this is a movie that I would just watch because I saw it on a list somewhere, or like I had seen Rob Zombie talk about it, or like Eli Roth talk about it back in the day, where I was just consuming all of the horror section at Hollywood Video that was near me, and I rented this maybe like you could do like a 4-night for like older movies or something like that. And so I would do that and then take it back and then like a day later get it again for 4 more days. And just watch all the special features and just consume whatever I could of it. I loved it. I loved the gore. I think it was so much fun. And honestly, spooky at the time for me. I'll probably give it an 8 back in the day.
So 8 nostalgically for Shaun. That's going to put us pretty low on the grand scheme of things. That's a 5 nostalgically, which will be bottom 15, and that's expected. Our nostalgic rating is just so messed up. But that is why we're here, though. We're here to talk about, like, well, this is what I did think about it, but now what do I think about it?
Horror's got a bad rap, man. You know, it can never be pulled up to the high echelon that Titanic will be or something like that.
Just to put that into perspective, that Breakfast Club was a 5.16. This is a 5 nostalgically. So, so just letting you know where we're at on all of this.
Hey, there's a lot of possibilities then. That's just opened up a whole world of possibilities.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, next it's time to learn all the pertinent, important details of this movie. Shaun, please don't take too long.
I will try not to. The Evil Dead, produced by Rob Tappert, Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Gay Holt. I'm pretty sure I meant to say Gary Holt. Music by autocorrect. I don't know. I don't know why.
Okay, wow.
It's we're
here.
Music by Joseph LaDuca, edited by Edna Ruth Paul, cinematography by Tim Philo, special makeup effects by Tom Sullivan and Bruce Campbell, uncredited. Written and directed by Sam Raimi. Cast: Bruce Campbell, Ellen Sandweiss, Richard Dominicure, Betsy Baker, Teresa Tilley, and Ted and Ivan Raimi. Friends Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Rob Tappert, and Scott Spiegel were friends in college and loved the craft of filmmaking. The group would shoot shorts on the side for fun. Seeing the potential in monetizing this venture, the friends figured out that if they made a horror movie, they could make it for cheap and garner some income on it. They would make the short film Within the Woods and shop it around to gain financing for a feature. After Within the Woods got noticed, the filmmaking friends got $90,000 of their projected $350,000 budget, so they went location scouting and got a cabin in Morristown, Tennessee. So from the success of that short film, they kind of shopped it around and tried to get financiers on board.
We're good.
Yeah. And they didn't receive that full budget until like halfway through.
Wow.
So
living on a prayer, man.
Filming started with a rough patch while location scouting, the crew got lost in the woods. When filming in the cabin, the crew quickly realized the foundation needed more support as they were stepping through the floorboards. To avoid reflections and glares, the crew removed all of the windows in the cabin. However, Tennessee was experiencing a very cold winter at the time, and the production was extremely cold. Filming finished January 23rd, 1980. After being filmed on Kodak 16mm film, the crew got to editing. Edna Paul was tasked with editing along with at the time assistance of Joel Cohen of the Coen brothers. Paul edited most of the film, but Cohen cut the shed sequence to note. So when he's in there getting the chainsaw and everything, that was pretty much Joel Cohen.
Wow. You can sort of tell that's sort of different.
It's
it's
almost like more long shots.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't cut that much as much as Ruth Edna did. The original cut was 117 minutes long, with a lot of the film having Ash be depressed he was unable to save his friends. But the team cut most of this emotional arc to be more fun and more remarkable, 85 minutes. So there was more of a reactions of him being sad and depressed, but in the final cut, obviously you see him just kind of like, oh, my friends are dead. The film was released on October 15th, 1981 on 15 theaters and grossed $108,000 its opening weekend. After going to the UK with its simultaneous release in the theaters and on video, the film made $2.4 million, almost 8 times its budget.
Wow.
However, praise and success wouldn't last long, with the NVALA, National Viewers and Listeners Association, basically upright, overly religious assholes, created the list called the Video Nasties, putting films on the list that offended or grossed them out, and even sought legal action over the filmmakers. Although the filmmakers were pardoned in this occasion, the inclusion on the list only made people think to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is if you're really trying to keep kids off drugs, don't make them illegal. You know, like it's one of those things. Don't tell me a list of movies that you shouldn't watch this.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna go watch that.
Don't put the parental advisory logo on that Sublime CD.
Exactly.
Okay.
It totally backfired
That's what
on
I'm
him.
gonna do. Okay.
Damn it!
Leonard Maltin, I don't know if we'll get to that next, but Leonard Maltin said it was like the grossest movie he's ever seen, and it only made people want to see it even more. It's like
that guy
the same,
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead would garner 2 sequels, a remake, a musical, and a television series, and has been cemented as one of the most popular and influential horror films ever made. That's what I got.
Didn't you say that all the crew and everybody stayed in that cabin?
Yeah.
And that it was just the worst experience of their life.
It was a living hell, and we'll get to a lot of the tortures they went through.
That sounds like a more interesting horror movie to me already.
Right?
Hey, we're gonna go out and make this movie, and the idea, but then we got lost in the woods.
Blair Witch, dude.
We Blair Witched ourselves, and then we got to the cabin, and we're literally falling through stuff. And like breaking ankles,
Injuries.
And then we decided to freeze ourselves to death.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm into that.
Like, that sounds like a great movie to watch.
Well, thanks, Shaun. Before we dive deeper into the analysis of this movie, we first got to give a shout out to our amazing sponsor, Felix Gray. This company makes affordable and incredibly stylish glasses that filter out the harmful blue light that is all around us from computers, phones, TVs, just everything. I went to Subway the other day, and it had a drive-through, and there was a screen that I had to, like, touch all the buttons. I'm like, I'm getting blue light. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, good. I'm on my lunch break. Oh, wait, their menu is a TV. Damn it.
These glasses are 15 times more effective than all other blue light glasses at filtering the harmful blue light that's all around us from all that stuff. The quality is unbelievable. You'll love all the options for different styles and colors. Have you guys still been wearing yours? I mean, it's been a lot of months now since we've had these, and I still love mine. I mean, Shaun's got his on right now.
They're essential, man. I pretty much won't leave the house without them. I got my sunglasses and these, and I'm good to go.
Yep. Like I say, I got to have them because I work in front of 2 large screens, and so I got that pair of, they're just the cheaters now, you know?
Yeah.
That's all they are. They're not prescription, but that's just what I wear at work. So.
Well, and that's the best part. Like, you're going to be protecting your eyes. You're going to hopefully be getting better sleep, better health benefits from blocking that blue light. You can do prescription, non-prescription readers, just like AJ said. Exposure to blue light's not going away, so do yourself a favor. Grab a pair of these glasses. We got them. We know you'll love them. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/confused. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. Go do it. Okay, up next we got AJ. He hooks us up with the research, gives us some fan critical ratings and reviews before we dive into this. What do you got, man?
It's very fitting we talk about the blood of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because this one is taking us to the tomato meter.
Gross.
Nope.
All right.
95% certified fresh
95?
on Rotten Tomatoes. 95.
I was going to say maybe 70-something.
I thought so too.
And that being a critical rating of all the movies we have done, that is the 8th highest critical rating of everything we've done. That is slightly below Jaws and just above Terminator 2 is what the critics believe about this movie. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
That's awesome.
All right, fine.
That's so awesome, dude.
That's awesome.
Whatever. 84% said the audiences from Rotten Tomatoes, and 7.4 on IMDb.
That's starting to push up. That's number 28 on the list of all movies we've done for IMDb, just below Batman and just above Karate Kid.
Wow.
Is what the fans are thinking.
I
about
never
that.
would have thought, man.
Yep.
I have some fun little reviews for us, guys. I only found a couple of critical ones, but I like to start with some bad. This one says, "This movie is as dumb as they come." A group of stupid kids decide to spend the night in some strange haunted house and experience the frightening consequences. And does that sound like a good movie? Well, I'm not one for idiotic actors, so I'm going to have to not recommend this film. The effects were cartoonish and comical, making the movie lose all credibility. The acting was horrid, the direction was worse, and the story was just plain stupid.
Okay.
AJ Venn's 1974.
That's right. I went back in time so I could write this.
There will be a movie.
That's right. How about some of these fans, so-called fans?
Yeah.
By the way, that was from a person called their name was I Hate Every Movie I See. So
69 420.
Yeah, 69 420. Forever 22 vape girl 69. Like, I don't know. C Ziggy 124 said evil sick joke. I don't know why they did that. Said don't read the following review without seeing the movie first.
Wow, that's the opposite of what usually happens. Like, don't watch the movie.
Yeah. Don't read this. so you want me to come back to you?
You want me to save this place and come back to it when it's over?
Well, that's more pretentious. The Evil Dead on RottenTomatoes.com was raved as a wonderful movie. After renting this crap, all I can say, if it was supposed to be a horror, it sucked. If it was supposed to be a comedy, it sucked. The movie is incredibly lame. Comedy or horror, I may have laughed, but even if the attempts were to make it more of a comedy, I thought, that it was dumb to try to make. Also, it makes a horror. This guy sucks.
I know sometimes it's hard to read.
Just pick a genre. That's what he's trying to get at. Also, even if it was intended for laughs, the movie is incredibly disgusting. A tree rapes a girl? That's gross.
Spoilers.
Yeah. The special effects and visual and makeup aren't imaginable. They imagined it though. Like some may claim.
So that means if it isn't imaginable, that means it's real.
Right.
Okay, just checking.
Like some may claim, they are just cheap and gross. This movie was a waste of time. Grade F.
I'm glad that I stopped to go watch the movie to then come back and read this.
Yes.
So it's not inventive.
Right.
And they're angry that it couldn't choose a
genre.
A genre.
Right.
But like I said in the beginning, I don't know if it was recorded or not, but horror can be everything.
Right.
So you're just confused at what the movie did to you.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want us to find his address? We'll go
Honestly,
talk to him.
We can go have a conversation.
I should be
him.
madder than this, but I'm okay now. I'm all right.
Well, this one might make you a little happier. This
All right.
one is a 10 out of 10. My last one says very spooky movie.
Spooky.
Non-existent said, if you love gory films, and I mean gory films, this is for you. It has undead and random crap happening in a single little cabin, which for such a little place is pretty fitting for the horror, but who knew that this low-budget film could have this good special effects? Truly a masterpiece.
Yeah,
No
man.
punctuation.
Zero punctuation.
Just goes to show you that non-smart people love this movie.
Wait,
non-educated people.
He was just so excited about the movie, he couldn't get it out in
Just
time.
like, I don't want to pause to think about this. I just want to say it all. What's punctuation? What's spell check? I don't know.
Period, and then 2 spaces. I don't got time for
No
that.
way. F that. Tab. What's that? Okay. That's it, though.
That's all we got
That's
from
all we
AJ.
got.
Well, boys, what do you say we find an abandoned cabin in the woods and go hang there for the weekend?
Yes.
Cool.
No horror movie in the history of the world has ever started this way. So I'm sure we can not only make that dumb decision, but I'm sure we can continue to make other stupid decisions until all of us are dead. Until we're drunk, horny, and sleeping soundly by a roaring fire.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Here we go. Woo. So 5 Michigan State University students venture into the hills to spend a weekend in an isolated cabin. While searching the basement of the cabin, the students find the Book of the Dead and play a tape recording of demonic incantations from the book, unwittingly resurrecting slumbering demons that thirst for revenge. Shaun, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why? This is something I just noticed rewatching this movie, trying to be critical. Is there any reason why pretty much the majority of horror movies have 5 friends that go somewhere? It's always 5 friends.
5.
Cabin in the Woods, Cabin Fever, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Evil Dead. Like, it always seems like it's 5. It's always almost like 2 couples and then like the other person, like the stoner.
It's
or
2
the
couples
friend.
and the funny guy.
Is there a reason for that? Is that like a cliche, or does it just make the storytelling better?
You could say that it's like for body count wise, like you
Okay.
could say that you have more disposable characters in there, and then you got your like main protagonist and their boyfriend or girlfriend, and then like the funny guy, as we said, is just injecting like, I'm gonna go get stoned and pass out in this place. But then like they play with that, and he might survive the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if the 5 is like a written rule. Could be that. You know what? It is that.
There we go.
That's it.
So 5 points of pentagram
Yep.
is the 5 people.
Yep.
That
the
makes
evil.
That
Okay.
makes perfect sense.
So
I
we
like
did
that.
it.
Yep.
5 senses.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
5 hairs on my back.
5 hairs on no.
Okay.
Do you guys remember when we did Raising Arizona, the shot of the camera running over the car
Yeah.
and through everything and then up to the window?
Yeah.
Very inspired by Sam Raimi. This is like where this started. Like as soon as this movie starts off, it is that shot. And they didn't do it. They didn't have enough money to do it like Joel and Ethan Coen in Raising Arizona because they only had $90,000 in a 2x4. So that's what they did. They mounted the camera on the 2x4
and held it and walked?
literally just ran with it and just like kind of did this and like, you know, and so the whole crew like would do it. Sam would do it and Rob Tapper would do it. And they got injured multiple times. I'm sure they dropped the camera multiple times. They rented this camera. It's not theirs. They didn't own it. Just goes to show, just like it's one of the most horror movie shots, like the POV and
of the unknown thing that's traveling all over everything to get to you.
Yeah, I just think it's so inventive and really cool. And then like the prestige of the Coen brothers were inspired by that is really cool to me.
I'm gonna go and just kind of get this part out of the way, right? Because this is where I get conflicted in how I feel about this movie. All right,
it's a 0 for me.
You know what? You guys just talk more. I'm gonna go drink beers and shit. Take a crap. No, but I have this. I go back and forth with this. And again, I'm not a horror film buff by any means, right? So I don't know when a lot of these things started to happen, but when I start watching this movie and as I'm continuing to go through it, I just think to myself, there's another trope, there's another thing that they're doing that's a horror movie, but then I have to remind myself, is this when these things started doing it? Like, did this guy start doing this first? And that's why we have all these like derivative spoofs and thoughts that are like it's all pulled from this idea, this movie. Is that kind of how it was?
This is like I think they made this in 1980 or 1979 even. Yeah. Before this, there was so many. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was obviously before this, and that's the 5 Trinity. They go to a house, Trinity. I don't know why I want to say that, but the 5 pointed pentagram kind of thing.
Yes.
I think it was like not really cemented in the zeitgeist of horror films at the time to have this kind of trope of people going to the cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
But Cabin in the Woods was totally inspired by this. Cabin Fever was inspired by this.
Everything.
Everything. I think it was kind of maybe this that had that trope.
Yeah.
Solidified in the zeitgeist of movies.
Yeah, and as you continue to watch, we'll watch through the movie and everything, and you see how things are happening, the camera shots, the close-ups, the you know, that kind of stuff, and you're like, it's like they're making fun of it. It's like, but they're not making fun of anything. They're just doing this, I think, very honestly, because of the budget and what they had to work with.
Yeah.
So it made it very tough for me watching it today. But that was my internal battle, I guess.
I can definitely see, in hindsight, of having seen probably those movies that were influenced by this, and then going back to this, you're like, oh, I've just seen this all before.
Right.
Obviously, that I can definitely see that sort of frame of mind. But yeah, I do think that this is really kind of the start of this.
In a movie like Cabin in the Woods, having probably an incredible budget compared to what this is, sometimes it's hard to go back and watch this and go, that just looks bad. Like they didn't do that right. It's so much better than these other movies, but it's just because this was first. It inspired the other one, but they just had a lot more money.
Right.
Had this not been such a success, maybe none of these other movies would have ever been made.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. But it
But
works.
you're wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, it works for the general population that go and spend money to watch these movies.
Yeah.
As you can see.
By today's standards, it's the laziest writing you've maybe ever seen or heard of. 5 people, they go to the res. They find the Book of the Dead in this cabin in Tennessee, and then there just happens to be like demons or spirits that float around.
Yeah.
what? Can you do something else? Can you explain anything?
Can you please tell me more about it?
Right. And again, but going back and thinking, I wish I could watch this back then. And so maybe I could try to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When we finally get that time machine someday, it'll be fun to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Can we talk about that bridge a little bit?
Yeah.
So if I'm a truck driver for a living, and if I obviously for the truck I drive, I wouldn't ever go over that bridge with a gigantic 10-ton truck. But even if I was in that car and I felt it like get kind of giving way, I would be like, I would probably try to stop and back up as soon as possible. And I'm saying, we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
Sorry, we're not going to the cabin anymore. Or if I did get across, someone's got to come get us because I'm not driving my car over that bridge again. That's fucking nuts.
But what do you do? This is 1981. What? It's so easy
That's
for
true.
us to think that, dude.
I
hey,
did not think about that.
Listen, I'm gonna
Bullshit.
text my mom and be like, hey, can you make sure Dad comes down to the old bridge, where we used to go hiking? Like, have him come down because we might need a little help. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
I'm just gonna call an Uber, see if he makes it across. It's like what?
Don't do XL.
Yeah, don't make it an Uber XL. We're just make sure it's got a big trunk. I don't know.
We don't know. It'll be fine. I do love some of the cool things about this movie, though, are the like how bad because they didn't have the money. So like the shakiness of the camera, like you can very much pick that apart, but you can also look at it in a good way. There are some very beautiful shots, like the behind the car shot as it's pulling down the lane. Like, I don't know why that does it for me.
Yeah.
That lights me up for some reason, just how perfectly framed that car is moving away.
And it's so charming to me, just like making these kinds of films. Like, this is made with his friends. Like, it's like straight up what I did in high school.
Yeah.
It's just I just did these things, and you
didn't have $90K.
Exactly. Yeah, I had $5 and a bottle of fake blood. But you would make it up as you go, and that's what he kind of did. He didn't shot list this movie.
No.
There's no way. He just read the script, and he's like, okay, can we put the camera on top of a pole on another car or something like that and just like drive behind it? Which I don't even know if that's what they did. It just seems like it.
Yeah.
But just inventing along the way. And then this is 94% on Rotten Tomatoes?
95.
90. I mean, come on.
The critics
That's insane.
loved this.
It's got to blow your mind.
The inventiveness is just off the charts.
Just to stay on that real quick, that's so weird to me if you really think about it. Tomato meter being the critical, like a movie, Mighty Ducks got a 21. Like Roadhouse from a couple weeks ago was a 37. This is a 95.
This was thrown together.
It's almost it makes me think. How do I want to say this?
That they took $85,000 and paid off the critics and made the movie $5,000. Because that's what I was thinking.
$5,000 each.
No, that's actually a great point.
They paid Stephen King to put his quote on the poster.
Yeah, it's like I feel like the critics are all like, no critic talked to anybody like any other critic, and they were like, you know what? I'm going to be the guy who gives this 100 out of 100 because I know everybody else is going to bag on it. So 100 out of 100. Oh, very inventive. And what they had to work with, it just comes out to show that you can do anything as long as you put your mind to it. 100 out of 100. And it's just like, and then like every other critic did that too. And they're like, wait a second.
What do we do?
What do we do?
all their editors were super mad that they were like giving the same ratings as other critics. Like, go off the deep end on. We need readers.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to be like, but that guy said it was good.
Yeah.
And then they all did it.
Yeah, it's like not voting for somebody or voting for somebody that you think isn't going to win, but everybody votes for the person that they don't think is going to win, and then it wins.
I just stayed in a VRBO
Nice.
2 weekends in a row. Where, in fact, we've talked about VRBO so much on this
VRBO.
show. VRBO.
VRBO, get in touch. We'll take a sponsorship.
I then watched this movie and I realized how much I missed the days of like being given a key to something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of like, okay, so you're gonna go down the gravel road and the combo is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're gonna make sure you hit pound first and then pound after.
Okay.
And it'll be valid. And then when you leave, you do the same thing, and then that will switch the code over for the next day. It's like I just see them grab that key. I'm like, I miss that.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I don't want an electronic lock and you being like, here's the code. I know when you open it.
That are those keys from like early medieval times
Has
or
to be.
something?
It's like a skeleton key.
Yeah, they're like from the 1400s apparently. Jack Sparrow left those there, I guess. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You use the same set of keys to get out of jail or whatever. Like, what are you talking about?
That's immediately sets up the creep of this movie though. That fucking swing hitting the house and then it stops. I did not expect that for it to just stop.
Yeah.
And I hate that's what scares me the most is
silence,
invisible and silence and demons and like more powerful things than me. And I was like, oh God, why are you guys going in here?
Yeah,
it's
what
almost
are we
like,
doing?
It's almost like the lack of soundtrack.
Yeah,
when it just gets turned off. You know, like even in real life, I have to have something. I have to have music or a podcast.
Right.
I can't just have pure silence. Like, and so that when I'm watching this, it sounds like a heartbeat almost, and like you're kind of getting in rhythm with it. And then when it suddenly stops, you're like, what? Hang on, what's going on? You know,
you're still gonna open that door.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just put off ease just like that.
They find the stuff in the cellar.
Yeah.
You don't go down there.
First of all, you mean the cellar that blew open on its own?
Yeah, that one, that old thing,
So
that
you
old
just go
chestnut.
down there.
You just go on. We better go find out what blew this heavy wooden chain door open. What the fuck are you talking about? I'll just add that to the trope checklist.
Just go down in the dark basement.
Yeah.
Check.
And, and by the way, the first guy, he didn't come back up right away, so let's send the other guy down.
Let's send the other male.
The other guy. And then,
hey, if I'm not back up in 5 minutes, you come get me.
Yeah,
and the other guy.
Or just Ace Ventura. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, wait longer.
Wait longer.
Like, that's it.
Here's the key. If it's another 5 minutes, then you guys should probably just leave.
Yeah.
Because something bad happened.
Well, he took the only flashlight. Then I guess we don't have flashlights. That's it.
Maybe I'm just like a lover and defender of these movies and the tropes that within, and also because I'm watching like a ghost show or something like that, and it's like a ghost hunter show,
right?
You know, and they're looking for ghosts, are they not? And so when something like a noise happens, they fucking freak out and run. I'm like, that's why you're there, though.
The whole
That's
reason.
why you're alive.
That's why you're there.
You're supposed to be showing us what scared you, and you ran away.
So when people are like, would you stay in that house for I'm like, I would stay in there for free. I don't care. It'd be fun.
You mean I don't have to pay?
Yeah.
To stay at that Airbnb?
And so it's kind of like this. If that door blew open, I'd be like, well, I gotta go see what's going on.
I'm probably
so maybe
die.
I'd be the first to die in a slasher movie.
It's okay though. Sometimes, like, I think about the zombie apocalypse, and 10 years ago, I was like, dude, yeah, I would be the leader of a group, and we would stay alive,
I
and
know
I know I could do it. Now I'm like, I want to be the first one. I want to be patient zero.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
Just let me be
Let's
done
just
with
end
this.
this thing.
I don't need the struggle anymore. Let's be real.
No more cell towers. Shit.
If that happened after the wrong week at work, I'd just be like, whatever. Hey, come get me.
Did you guys
Eating
notice,
pizza and drinking beer.
Did you guys notice the poster down in the basement?
It was Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, his movie right after The Last House on the Left. The reason they had that down there, apparently, is what I read, is that when Hills Have Eyes was coming out, their like marketing strategy was, we're scarier than Jaws, so come see our movie. And so Sam Raimi and the filmmakers bought the poster for that, and one of their marketing plans was like, we're scarier than Hills Have Eyes, come watch our movie.
Gotcha.
It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Rival kind of thing.
Yeah, I like. So I hope there's a movie out there that has like Evil Dead.
We're
poster.
scarier than the Evil Dead.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh my god.
That shot, another shot that really resonated with me that I liked was the shot going up out of the cellar and them leaning over, looking down at it. Something about the way it was framed, and it wasn't like perfectly framed up. It was sort of kitty corner a little bit how it was framed. And like he made some very smart choices on the shots. Like you could tell he had the eye and he knew what he wanted and he knew what would look cool. And that was another one of those shots.
Well, he just seems like throughout this whole movie and honestly his career that he like had all these shots when he was born. And so he just needed these stories to fill them with. And so he's just like going crazy on every movie that he makes. You know, he's like, oh, I had this shot in my head a long time ago, and so he does that. You know, just the way it seems.
Yeah.
I hate Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty's the one that goes down first.
Yeah. I hate him, and I've had friends like this who are just like kind of psychotic for some reason in some instances where he just takes that gun and he's like, hey, Ash.
Oh,
points it right in his. I'm like, dude.
That is messed up, dude.
Have you ever had a friend like that where just like they like hit you harder than like a friend should hit you or something?
Yeah, and then they laugh about it, and they're like, "Isn't that funny?" Or it's they punch you as hard as they can, and they say, "Just kidding." It's like you hit me. It's like, what the fuck are you
I said with all due respect.
Yeah. I said with all due.
Like have him in a strangled. No, I'm just kidding, dude. It's fine. I can't breathe right now.
We're friends.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah, let's go hit this tree with this bat and see if we could break the tree. It's like, why?
That doesn't make any.
Let's not do
You're
that.
psychotic, Dave.
How about we don't do that? How about we leave this skin book and the tape recorder? How about we leave it all here, because those are two different, centuries.
Yeah.
And we're gonna mix the two together. I don't think so.
If I walk into a basement and there's an iPod Mini.
Right.
That's fully charged that I turn on, and track 1 is called the incantation of bringing the devil and the spirits alive. I'm not hitting play.
Right. I don't think you don't click the wheel all the way around and like to go and play that.
No.
Yeah, you don't do that.
And if you so it was perfectly lined up then, right? So like I'm assuming they basically just they turned play on the reel to reel. And then that scene, or were they listening to the whole thing, and then eventually he started reading it in the? Because he's talking first, and then he starts reading it.
Yeah.
At that point, like, if they were to stop that, let's say halfway through, if they were to stop in the middle of his spell, does this not happen?
Yeah, maybe. Because he has to get to the chant.
He's got to get to the end, right,
Yeah.
where he's chanting. So at some point, somebody could have just be like, "Now we're turning that off."
Yeah.
And then they would have had a really great weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was and that's what I wonder too. But there was already all the spooky things happening around them.
Would this have happened anyway?
Yeah, I feel like a tape recorder of like a recording of a person's voice shouldn't be able to command the Book of the Dead, right? I feel like that's
It's got to be.
Yeah,
It's got to be
a real
a virgin.
spoken-
It's got to be a virgin only on this day who lights a black flame candle.
candle.
It's got to be hard. It can't just be anybody.
It's like vinyl. You got to be there for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
sounds way better.
sounds
Reel
way
to reel's
better.
way better.
It's way better. You haven't experienced the Book of the Dead until you've heard it on reel to reel. It's just like what are you talking
And on
about?
weed.
And on weed.
Man, you like the book? The audiobook's way better, dude.
Yeah, I just feel like it shouldn't do that. like a recording of it shouldn't do that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but maybe I'll think of it later. It's just like,
Well,
how
this
does
is
it
how
unlock
this
that?
is how like I want to spend my time with my friends. Is like around. They weren't at a fireplace. I think they were around the fireplace, but didn't have it lit, which bothered me.
Yeah.
But around the fireplace, listening to a thing and just talking about it. That's
Yeah.
like I want to be in a cabin with my friends doing that.
I just like
And
the
I
idea.
know you don't.
I'm okay with it because all the things that I watch and enjoy don't lead to demonic possession.
Okay.
See, it just leads to just a good fun hangout, and that's about it.
I would argue the season 3 of The Office over and over and over again would drive me insane.
Fair enough. And see,
Different worlds.
different worlds. We're just two different people, but we can come together and
We
agree to
can.
disagree.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important.
I think that's fun.
Well, before we hit scene 2, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Cedar Ridge Distillery, located in our backyard in Swisher, Iowa. Cedar Ridge is one of the fastest growing whiskey companies in America and was named Distillery of the Year in 2017. They are the #1 bourbon in the entire state of Iowa for 2 years running and have won countless awards for their quality and taste, including a gold medal just recently won at the New York International Spirits Competition. We are clearly huge fans. We've since moved to a new studio, so we're now trying to start getting all those empty bottles of Cedar Ridge we had at the old studio. But we love the quintessential American single malt. We love their whiskey collaboration with Slipknot.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and of course the flagship bourbon, which we've been drinking pretty much every single episode for over a year. Straight rye, all that stuff is incredible. If you're in Iowa or around the Midwest, you can likely find some at your favorite local establishments. If you want to give it a shot but are elsewhere in the country, you can order online at cedarridgewhiskey.com. Trust us, if someone special in your life loves whiskey, just get some. They will love it, and then they will love you. This is a win-win. Please enjoy responsibly. cedarridgewhiskey.com. Check it out. Give them some love. They love us. They sponsor us. So now we just got to repay the favor.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
So scene 2, the characters are gradually possessed one by one, beginning with Cheryl after she is brutally attacked by the evil force. She makes it home to the cabin, but nobody believes her ordeal. Her brother Ash then decides to drive her into town where she can stay the night. They discover that the only road bridge is actually completely destroyed. I think it's every girl's dream to get proposed to in the middle of a haunted cabin during a thunderstorm.
Think so?
I think that's every girl's dream, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the girl for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. So maybe not every girl's dream, but Sean's dream.
Yes. Sean's
dream
girl
of
dream.
every girl.
Come on.
Hey, what's up with
No, I found the one. I did.
Yeah, I know I found her. It's cool. What's up with that clear and blatant box being different? The box with the necklace in it. He's teasing it, and they keep showing it, and they keep showing it. Then when the close-up of them taking the top off of it, it is just clear as day, like just a completely different box with a completely different design on it. It caught me immediately. I was like, oh, this is important. This is something. Like, it's a different box.
Is the box possessed?
I don't know. It was just, this movie does have a lot of continuity issues. Like, it does, and that's fine. It's with the budget and stuff. But this was just one that I was like, what? It was so obvious. I was like, this means something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't notice that at all, but I mean, maybe.
I'll show you a photo of it. It was just almost like they destroyed the one box on accident and then like quick paint it from memory of what you thought it was. It's like it's not the same thing.
It could have been that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I like when she starts hearing stuff out. Well, she like draws the book, like carves the book basically in her sketch.
That was very terrifying.
Yeah, it was.
That was a very scary moment, right? Yeah. And then again I fell back to, you don't go out into the woods. You don't go calling for who's there.
So I was like, I was watching and like, is anybody there?
Yeah.
I just wish there'd be like is anybody there? No. I wanted that so bad.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
What if it's like, or even worse, like, yeah. What are you doing here? Well, I'm staying at the cabin. What are you doing here?
We're in cabin 2.
Well, we're just staying over here. We're staying outside the cabin. It's just like, what are you doing?
What do you say we join our parties? We found a killer looking book we can read from.
Hell yeah, dude! You guys got any beer? Like what? I don't know. But you don't go out there.
No, no matter what you're going to find is not going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It was either an animal, a person who you don't want to be around, or something evil and worse. And something bad will happen to you. You should probably tell your friends about it.
Or nothing, and that's just boring.
Stay in the house. No. Something happens. There's no chance that she goes out there and nothing happens.
Well,
let's
go back in.
Again, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree that like there's no outcome to this that is good.
No.
That's just what it is.
I mean, yeah, you get lost. It's foggy as hell.
You get lost. You find a weird animal that will hurt you. Or a skunk, I don't know, you get shit on. Or you find a person that's going to kill you. Or what's that?
Skunks aren't animals to you?
Oh, they are, but they shit a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's how they stink. Anyways. Okay. But or again, you find nothing and you just went out there for nothing and you just got your feet all dirty. You're going to track it into the cabin.
I have to assume the last thing she expected was to get raped by a tree.
Well, I guess you're right.
But
boy, of all the things.
I fully expected that.
Yeah,
when she goes outside, I'm like, no.
There's tree rapers.
What? This was an unbelievable out of left field yikes to me. Like I did not. I've never saw this part.
I really think it's like the only. I mean, it's disturbing. Like, it's straight up. It's not like the rest of the film. To me, is pretty fun, But this is straight up just like, I don't know if this even needs to be here. And I think at the time, I think it was Scott Spiegel, one of the producers, his idea just on the spot. And so, like, the next day, she's like, what are we shooting? She's like, well, you're going to get raped by a tree. And she's like, oh, okay. And,
then she's like, who's playing the tree?
Yeah.
And it's
just a bunch of dudes manipulating, like, weird vines. Like, they were
in reverse, too. Weren't they, reverse filming it?
Yeah, okay.
And so it's just, like, they were tortured heavily during the making of this, like sometimes deliberately and sometimes obviously not. Like a lot of people got injured, and just adding this on top of it just seems so unnecessary. What do you guys think?
Well, I've heard of tree huggers, but this is ridiculous.
All right,
it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, it's just like it just kind of kept going, and you're like, okay, well. I mean, yeah, okay, the robe's gone. Looks good thing she's got on her pajamas, though. Well,
nope, those are gone, too.
Those are going, too.
Okay, she'll probably break free. And
she'll probably just have to break free.
Nope, now the legs are spreading open. It's like, oh, wow, where are we going with this?
Now I'm getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, again, very unnecessary, but, like, the idea, and, like, it didn't have to go to that extent.
Yeah.
The trees or the shrubbery could have just come alive and entangled her.
Yeah.
And it's just trees looking for bushes, and that's all it is. Sorry.
Hey
guys, we're having a good time.
You know I'm here for it, okay?
Sean's really excited.
But that's all, it could have gone that far. But then stopped, and that's all that would have had to happen for her to freak the fuck out.
I feel conflicted about it still, just because I don't like the scene, but it also, in me not liking it, makes it like unpredictable. I don't know what's gonna happen after.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do? They've already done
true.
tree rape. What's
Now
gonna
what?
happen now? So
Yes.
it sets the stakes pretty high.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you hear about Lucy Lawless?
Mm-mm.
So Lucy Lawless, this movie's teaching us a life lesson without knowing about it, right? Lucy Lawless saw this film upon its release, and she was like absolutely appalled by this scene, like by the movie in general, but by this scene. And she went on record as basically stating like what kind of absolutely piece of shit, horrible people would make such a film. Ironically, later on in life, she would marry the film's producer, Rob Tappert, and she would work in productions directed or produced by Sam Raimi, which was Xena Warrior Princess, small cameo in Spider-Man, and as Ruby in Ash vs. Evil Dead. So the life lesson here is don't ever change who you are.
Yeah, don't ever change.
Don't ever change. They'll come back around.
Opposites attract, man.
They'll come back around.
Don't change who you are. They make 100 movies about Jeffrey Dahmer still.
They do.
Don't change who you are.
And people are still shocked that he did all those things. Like, it happened that long ago, you guys. There are books.
Oh gosh.
So she comes back into the cabin then after this, and she's like, I want out. Right?
Yeah,
is that when this happens?
Yeah, so she's going to she's asking her brother Ash to take her to pretty much the bridge where they find out it is just torn apart. And what do you guys think about the photography in the woods, like especially at night? Like does it
ironically, the thing I hate about a lot of movies is when they do night scenes.
Yeah.
When it's a day. It's shot in the day.
You can tell it's shot in the
day.
day.
We'll just like turn the contrast down. It'll be fine. They'll believe it.
Here's the night lens.
This is night.
This is night
and it absolutely works for me. Like it feels like I'm there and this is really happening, as opposed to like, oh, the guy's swimming in the ocean. It's supposed to be night. It's actually day. Everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I like the lighting is kind of clever. I mean, it's not like, Emmanuel Lubezki clever, but it's still it works for the film. I think it works for this because it's just like a white light, just like shining from a different angle as they're shooting this angle. It's just that. But I'm glad they didn't just like put a light on the camera and just follow the actress
Blair
around.
Witch style kind of.
Yeah, it's just like they could have done that for $90,000, but they did it right.
Yeah.
That shot again, I like talking about the choices he made. The shot when the car parks and they get out and walk to look at the bridge, how eerie that is, that they're like tilted.
Yeah.
when they're walking. And did you read about how he made that choice?
It's
or
like
how?
a Dutch angle.
Yeah. Is that what that means? Where
Yeah.
the car was actually parked on a slant,
Mm.
but that's how they set the camera up to be straight on with the car, so that when the characters were walking on the slant, it made them look like they were slanted.
Those Dutch, man, they just do a bunch of weird stuff. Angles, rudders, ovens. They're all weird, man. It's crazy.
you
Even
you are just
What?
give him the fucking belt.
Hey.
You can't grab it yourself. Somebody's
You
got to
are-
hand it to you. Sean, hand it to him.
I won't give it to you. Are just the living end, and there you go.
AJ's the Evil Dead.
Oh, come on. I'm the good living. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
No, it's just definitely pretty cool. Like, it gives it a very eerie, otherworldly effect all of a sudden. Now that we're in this and things are weird,
Yeah,
that gives me that weird, creepy vibe.
and you got to imagine, like, was that shot listed or written or anything? They probably just saw the lay of the land and they're like, this would be weird.
Yeah.
Let's just do it like this,
Or yeah, it turned out that slant was the only place they could get that car to be parked.
Sure.
And then like, oh, it looks weird that the car's parked. Well, let's turn the camera.
Put like a 2x4 under the camera here and
Oh yeah.
tilt the camera.
It's nuts.
Hey, Sam, one of the legs on the tripod just won't stay up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do a Dutch
Well,
shot.
What can we do? Do you have any more gaffing tape? No, we ran out. That's not in the budget anymore.
We tape the walls up with that.
Well, what's it look like anyways? It looks like, there it is. You know what? I like it.
Dutch it.
We'll just call it Dutch. We'll just go Dutch. Let's go Dutch.
Everyone lose their clothes.
Yeah.
Right now.
Anything else on scene 2?
Good to go.
No.
So scene 3, soon after, Cheryl becomes a demon and stabs Linda in the ankle with a pencil. They lock her in the cellar, but soon after, Shelley becomes possessed and attacks Scotty, who dismembers her with an axe. They wrap the dismembered body parts in a blanket and bury them, after which Scotty leaves to find a trail out in the woods.
So before we get to like all out demon rampage, she does like the ESP cards or like the tarot cards
Yeah.
with her friend, and she's kind of like lying to her, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? It doesn't even make sense. And then like, right, it's tarot cards, or is it just like
no,
That was like
she's
playing
saying
cards,
yes,
playing
right?
cards? Yeah.
That's what it is, a 7 of diamonds or
But
whatever.
ESP is she's guessing them.
Bill Murray.
She's Bill
Yeah.
Murray in
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. But then the demon starts doing it perfectly. But it was just like weird. Why would you do that to your friend? Like, especially in a situation like this, you're just lying to them.
Well, look, the demon wasn't even really that good. She was looking in the reflection. She could see behind, and she could see the cards. This isn't a cool trick. The demon was just messing with them, and it just happens to be funny. These demons are all comics, obviously. They're laughing. They're having a good time. I just, but when that thing flips around,
God damn.
Yeah.
I hate every moment of it. It's the worst thing. It's like clowns on steroids to me. I hate clowns.
Dude, I didn't even think about that.
Dude, it's just terrifying to me. Overdone like makeup, clown paint, and really like over the top on features, and the eyes, of course, too. It's just all terrifying.
Those lenses, they like sucked for
Yeah.
them. They couldn't see shit. The lenses used in this took 10 minutes to apply and could only be worn for 15.
Yeah, because their eyes couldn't breathe or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Bruce Campbell recalled that the lenses are the equivalent to trying to see through Tupperware.
Oh.
So essentially, they were blind.
Yeah, it's just a fog over their eyes.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
This had to be a nightmare just of an experience for
Yeah.
all these guys.
Ugh.
I mean, like you just imagine what being blind and like, okay, now perfectly stab the Achilles tendon of your coworker, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, dude, you can't see a damn thing.
I always love to play this game. Perspective, right?
Yeah.
You're there. The first person of your 5 people turns.
Yep.
And you're like, because when you're watching this, you're like, oh, shoot it. Shoot that stupid thing. Get the axe. You've got an axe. Just tack the head off. But if you're in the moment you're like, oh no, that's Cheryl.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's not a demon, that's Cheryl.
Yeah, you don't know that. You're not like, oh, geez, demons. Oh,
Do you think those tapes we listened to earlier
yeah,
have something to do with this?
something to do with it?
She's sick, man.
I knew we shouldn't have listened to those books on tape. like books on tape bring the Book of the Dead.
You know, it kind of reminds me of that time we listened to Dark Side backwards, dude.
I know, right?
And Terry kind of lost his mind a little bit.
Dude,
Same thing.
so
Took
dude,
like 3 uppers.
I did the Pink Floyd backwards, man. Or,
Yeah.
you know, the Wall. Listen to it backwards with Wizard of Oz. This blows it out of the water.
This is crazy.
It's like, dude.
Like, bro, my sister's literally trying to kill you right
It's
now.
insane, dude.
This is the moment in modern version of this where the stoner friend is going, whoa.
Are you guys seeing this, dude?
But your initial reaction isn't going to be to, like, shoot this person, though,
No.
right?
You
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
have a reaction.
Yeah.
This is the Shaun of the Dead thing of like what would really happen if a zombie apocalypse happened, where you're like, what drugs is that? Well,
She's
Yeah.
God, what the
drunk.
She's so
It's
drunk.
like-
Because you can't. This is not real,
Right.
You know, like as far as I know, no one's ever seen this happen in
Yeah.
real life. So why would you seeing it make you be like, oh fuck, it's a demon possession. We have to cut her
crap.
head off. Yeah,
Not
fuck.
again.
I knew it was gonna happen.
That was one of them demon possessions.
yeah, that makes sense. Where are we at? Tennessee? Yeah, that makes sense. Like, what? Are you
But it's my sister. Not anymore.
Not
We're
anymore.
chopping her in pieces.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
We're
Yeah,
gonna have to end it.
this movie immediately is just like, we're in, and we are not going to stop until the end at this point, and you know this right now.
Yeah.
They lock her into a little cellar, and it's fucking creeping out.
That is
Look
the
at-
Dude.
creepiest shot.
They linger on these shots for so long. That's another thing that I have to say. And when you go back and you ever see those old, you know, it's like the old 70s. I don't know. People call it. It's not like actual snuff films, but like snuff films.
Yeah.
And it's just these lingering shots of just something grotesque. And that's what this is to me. It just falls right in line. It can be in one of those montages that they play in like horror houses or whatever. Horror houses. Haunted houses.
Horror.
There you go. I don't know what houses you're going to, man.
You guys gonna go to a horror house? It's for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Horror.
Okay.
Horror.
You're married, man.
Had a baby coming.
Jesus, dude.
Um,
No, but like that's what I mean. They linger on these shots for
Yeah.
so long. The pencil in the ankle, and they just got to keep digging through.
Sure.
The lingering shot of her underneath that cellar door. They last for so long, and it makes you more uncomfortable.
But they almost cut perfectly on time because, like, especially her in the cellar peeking out, it's disturbing and scary, like,
Yeah.
legitimately. I think that it's a testament to Edna Ruth Paul's editing,
Okay.
where it's just like she stays on it long enough to be creeped out, but she cuts right when you're about to figure it out that it's just makeup, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's what it seems like to me. Like, she's cutting exactly the right time, or you can't, your brain can't process it, but it is scary,
It's,
you know?
it's the train wreck effect to me. You keep watching, and you should be looking away, but you can't. Or you look away, but then you look back. You want it to be done, so you look away,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh no, and then you look back, it's like, God, it's still going on. Jeez.
Ah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just very interesting the way they did it. Yeah.
What happened here? I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out. So Shelley, the second one, now gets possessed,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that fight with Scotty. What happens here? You know, there's so much going on, of like the demon swords coming out, but then he gets his sword, but then she like stabs herself with the demon sword, or like. Maybe you can explain to me that whole, maybe it was the editing of this, but I just couldn't figure out what was actually happening and what people were trying to accomplish in this like little scrap with the demon.
I think it's just it kind of calls the question, just like what the motivations of the demon is just like, is it just to kill? Is it to possess other people? Is it to just cause as much mayhem as possible with regarding your own body, or like your own agency as the demon, you know? So
Yeah.
like stabbing through you to get to the other guy, or vice versa, you know? Is that it? I think it adds more question, and it's just like, what is going on? And I think it kind of works for the film, for me at least. I just think it's like they'll do anything to at least maim these people.
Because they're not going to die. They're just using your body and they're going to ravage the fuck out of that. And then they'll move on, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think that's pretty much
okay.
it.
That's it all just kind of keeps happening, and it's really hard for me at this point to differentiate even kind of what's going on. Like you say, it's like, where'd that sword come from? For me, that's what it was. I was like, wait a second. And I think you saw the handle of it or something, but it's like, was the blade always there? I don't know. I just keep, and again, I don't need an overly excessive amount of context, or exposition, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know what happened there. I guess we're just going with it. We're just moving along.
I do like when she ends up in the fire and the two dudes are just like, we didn't really know her that well anyway. You just kind of keep her there, huh?
Because this was like kind of maybe Scotty's girlfriend.
Yeah, we don't really know. Like
they were naked in the other room together, so maybe they were just kind of like in the get to know you phase. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Let her burn.
Going pretty well.
You don't mind seeing each other naked, but you don't want to watch each other change. That kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a different light.
They haven't shat around each other yet.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
There's definitely been no farts in bed on purpose.
Right. like I say, Dutch ovens haven't happened yet.
No,
It's like
Dutch angles for sure.
Dutch angles.
Ash is pretty funny too, because like the first time you're watching this, you don't necessarily know who the main character is, right? You haven't figured that out yet, and I still don't feel like you know that yet, because Ash is a little too calm in this whole situation. Like maybe that had to do with the editing, but he's just very calm.
Yeah.
When to me, one of the almost the grossest scenes of the movie is when she is now hacked up and things are like flopping on the floor, and I'm like, fuck, like I can't. At this point now, I'm finally coming to my senses and being like, what just happened? We got to do whatever we can to get out of here.
Right.
But Ash is kind of just like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. He's just like, well, we gotta bury her, right?
No.
It's like, why are you spending time doing this? Leave. You really gonna sit there and tell me that it's going to be somehow worse at this point? Everything you've seen, and they at some points they rush to get back into the house. And I'm like, did you forget about the one under the floorboards, man?
Forgot about that one, didn't you?
But
she'll let you know.
Yeah, she'll let you know. She'll keep popping up and saying hi.
Join us.
And but it just blows my mind that, let's rush back into the house and stick around here. No, I'm taking my chances getting out of here.
Well, and he's that dude. Dude's the one that literally just saw his new, possibly like this girl might have met his parents by now. Like they're kind of getting tight. He just saw her turn into a demon, and then he hacked her up.
Right.
And he's like, I'm getting the fuck out because I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
How am I going to explain this to her parents?
Oh, I don't. There's you have to think about, well, if I do leave here, how do we explain this?
If I stay here, how do I explain this?
Yes, if I stay here, how do I explain this? If I leave, how do I explain this? It's a lose-lose at this point for everyone involved.
Yep.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like this at all. All right, so scene 4. Ash goes to check on Linda, but finds her to be possessed also. Scotty returns, but is mutilated by trees. After Linda tricks Ash by returning to seemingly normal, Ash drags her outside. He goes back to check on Scotty, who dies. Linda later returns and tries to stab Ash, but she falls on the dagger. Ash drags her outside to cut her up with a chainsaw, but he simply buries her instead. She rises from the grave, and Ash beheads her with a shovel. The head soon comes back to life and taunts him, and the body arises and chases Ash back to the cabin.
I think it was a scene before this where Linda was attacking everybody when they're like, she's dragging her out of the cabin, I believe. I liked the shot a lot where it was the camera was on the ground following Linda being dragged, and then it ended up on Shelly in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
It was a super cool, inventive shot. It was just, I just made a note of it.
Well, that's super subtle. I didn't think about that till you said it.
It's just like, just Sam Raimi again, just being like, oh, what if we just did that? And then we just revealed as they come out I just love it. Just nerding out.
So Scotty returns. He returns from the rapey forest.
Yeah, he went to the rape forest.
Did he
we're
have
Are we assuming?
a similar passionate experience, or was this We're just not going to talk about it.
We can assume. We can only assume.
Well, I just didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't want to bring it up or dive too far in.
I like to think that the forest is pretty poly.
Okay.
Hashtag poly. I think it's of and hip with the times.
Cool.
I think it doesn't really
we
matter
don't,
what the gender
who gives
is.
a fuck what you want to do.
They them.
And I appreciate the forest for that.
Yes.
I did read something though that at some point they Ash pulls something out of Scotty's leg. Do you see that? It's a very quick shot and then like
just
blood
gushes
everywhere. I guess initially there were many that felt that was supposed to be an appendage. You know, that it was just a very poorly done. Like,
okay.
Like they ripped his dick off or something. Like, but it was clearly a leg.
Scotty's appendage or a?
I don't know.
Scotty.
Shit!
Or a tree dick.
Oh shit! So Scotty fought back and cut off a tree dick while the tree dick was in his leg.
Yeah. Like the tree doesn't have eyes, so he's just trying to get whatever he can.
The trees don't have eyes.
Yeah.
So it's so much scarier than
Write
Jaws.
it. Write it.
I've got you. It's done.
And maybe Scotty, in preparation for his weekend away, used Manscaped and trimmed off his bush so the tree couldn't smell it, and then he was just trying to go for wherever he could get at. You know what I mean?
So there's an ad
Guys?
for Manscaped. Okay.
Call us.
That's fine.
Are these trees descendants like when I picture these trees attacking and doing their stuff?
Of the Ents?
Yes, that's exactly what I picture that guy just being like,
Tree?
tree.
I am no tree.
Somebody's got to make an edit of the ends.
But it's got like blue hair now. And it's got like a skirt on, but with like a male shirt. It's just like, it's
hip now.
No boundaries, and I like it. I like that.
I feel like if you were going to recast this movie, there was one person in particular that really stood out to me. I think Matt LeBlanc could be Ash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think they look so similar. I'm not saying necessarily like acting chops or styles, but I just feel like they look alike.
You know what? I thought you meant Matthew Lillard, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then
Who's
now,
Matthew Lillard?
From Scream.
Oh, okay.
I'm really bleeding here, man. From the end.
He could have played the role, but Matt LeBlanc could have stood in as like a head double, a head shot.
see.
Oh, sure.
I see.
Yeah, like an ass double or
Joey
something.
Tribbiani specifically.
Well, speaking of, what do you think of Bruce Campbell?
He's go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say. I was gonna say actually.
I want to marry him.
At first, like in the very beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, it's a pretty laid back performance and everything. But as this really gets going, and like we're into the second act of this movie, and watching him, especially as he gets to the point where he gets the shotgun, he gets I actually really like his performance in this. I think he's as anyone would be if this was a situation, you'd be in shock and trying to do whatever you can to fend for your life, essentially, hopefully, right? But he conveys shock as good as anyone I think I've ever seen, if that means anything.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think I really agree. And to the credit for him, not just an actor on this film, he did everything. Like, he was such a champion for making this, for getting it made. Like,
Weren't they buddies?
Oh, they childhood friends.
Yeah.
Like up until the very beginning, pretty much. And like, he would do anything. Like, there was like a bunch of manure apparently when they first got to the cabin, so he was just shoveling manure out of the way for everyone. Bruce Campbell put up his family's house to finance the reshoots for this movie.
Like for collateral?
Yeah.
Really?
Damn.
And he just believed in it so much that he was like, I will risk my family. Like, I believe in it, and I know that people will respond to it, and I think this will make money.
I'm assuming they shot this mostly in chronological order.
Probably.
So maybe that's him at the beginning, just kind of finding his bearings, but then as he starts to realize, no, I think this is going to be good. Like, maybe he starts to, and he's more involved, and he's been helping, he's been doing the stuff. He starts to like evolve a little bit into who we. And I mean, then now he's the franchise essentially, right? Because he moves on,
right,
to be in the majority of the rest of the movies.
Pretty
right?
much the face of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an Evil Dead without Ash. Like, even the remake at the very end of like the credits, it's just like a close up of him saying "groovy" for no reason.
And we're like, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like he's there, like we put him there. And actually, I like the remake. If you guys get a chance to watch it,
I was gonna have to watch it because I could not find this on streaming platforms. I was gonna be like, yeah, I know. I watched the new one.
I watched
I'm sure it's
to the
same.
2013 one.
So if you hate Scotty the most out of the males, what female demon do you hate the most? Because I'm not talking about them as normal, because I think I like Linda a lot as a normal human being. But I'm talking demon possessions. Which one do you hate the most?
Oh, it's definitely. Is that Shelley?
I think that's Linda. The third one?
Linda.
Or no?
It's Ash's girlfriend, right?
Yeah, Ash's girlfriend is Linda.
Yeah, okay.
I think she's my most hated too.
I think so.
Is she most punchable?
She's like,
Yeah.
it's very clown.
It's very creepy.
Clown witch like
Right.
her whole performance there.
Yeah.
Well, and again, this is the point of like, how have you just not like left? It's like, okay, just don't go through the forest or whatever. We understand that. Okay, so like these talking trees from Mortal Kombat, but like, don't go that way. Just go walk the road. I don't know.
Well, get to the bridge and then figure out how to get across.
Yeah,
it.
just
swim across
do
it.
something.
At this point, I'm risking drowning over what's going to happen to me there.
Yeah, I mean, if the trees are trying to do that to you, who knows what the river's gonna do?
Very true.
But at the same time, it can't be that bad. It's gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
There's got to be a boundary for how far these demons can travel.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming it's the river.
Maybe it's the water.
That's why the bridge went out.
See, the water's good. Ash is so calm about there's psycho clown sitting in front of the door, just like, and then you've got crazy underneath the floorboards
going, you guys still there?
Still doing like trap exercises, and then you've got your buddy. It seems like he was kind of your friend to some degree. He's clearly going to turn at any moment now.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting on the couch, and you're trying to help him out. It's like there's a point where you just have to say, we shouldn't be here I shouldn't be here anymore. You know what? I can't help this anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that again, just another tropey thing. that you could just leave.
No, then there's no movie, buddy.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad, guys. Scrap everything I just said.
He has her in the shed at this point, right?
Yes. So he took her outside to the shed. Yep, you got that.
So
He's thinking about chainsawing her.
Yeah, I do like that they kind of call back to the eye game that they play when he's like pretending to be asleep and has the necklace or whatever. They do the same thing while she's passed out on the thing, and he's like trying to rev up the chainsaw or whatever. He's like, and then trying to rev it up again. It's kind of a fun callback, but
I just realized this. They have an axe. They have a chainsaw. They can fight back in the woods. You get out of there.
Oh,
dude, no wonder those are there.
Those are a forest's worst nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Looks
saying,
like a really nice one too.
Yeah, that was a home light. 12
steel?
horsepower.
STIHL.
That's right, steel.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Speaking of chainsaws, that is what I want. I want that chainsaw. We went through a terrible natural disaster here in our town called a derecho a couple years ago, and I was ill prepared. I didn't know how to run a chainsaw, didn't have one. Now I'm a chainsaw expert, and I would like my very own The Evil Dead chainsaw that I can use next time a derecho happens.
Okay.
Good call.
I think I'm gonna have to go Book of the Dead.
You want the actual Book of the Dead?
I have to. You know what? I want the Hills Have Eyes poster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
From Evil Dead.
Because you probably have a Hills Have Eyes poster already, probably, right?
I have Last House on the Left poster.
Okay, cool. So you can complete it. Yeah.
I want the necklace.
Nice.
Yeah,
I want
that's
the
nice.
necklace.
Like
That's
the
real
one
nice.
he gives his girlfriend, or like the what? I'm thinking of a different movie.
I think.
Oh.
I was like, was there two
Stop me.
necklaces?
Stop me.
Whoa,
I'm thinking
wait.
of Dead Alive.
Ah,
4 guys out there, okay, and gals.
yeah.
It was an apt comparison.
Okay. Well, I think I want the necklace.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave the single shotgun.
Yep.
Just hanging out. 'Cause
That's a fun one too.
It's a fun one, but it's not practical.
Not practical.
So
it's like a musket essentially.
And we did. I mean, we probably could have talked about it there. Like, I mean, there's not many faces to punch here.
Yeah.
Meaning not many to choose from. But I think I'm gonna stick with. Are you picking Scotty for most punchable face?
If I saw Linda's smiling face pop up at me,
that's the one.
My knee-jerk reaction would be to load up on it. Yeah.
I should have just like a
load up
comedic kind of swing, like way back, way forward. Okay.
Yeah, and like it's punched so hard and with such force
and
that
twist.
it knocks me over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You got to do the super punch. I don't want any of that.
Like Chung-Li?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, punchable face.
Clown Linda.
I think it's probably Clown Linda.
Yeah.
Linda Clown. Or you know what? Maybe it's just one of the fishermen in the beginning.
And that was Sam Raimi and Rob Tapper. By the way.
There you go.
That's their cameo.
You can't punch Sam Raimi.
You can't punch Sam
He's a god.
Oh no, yeah. I think it's Clown Linda.
Well, let's finish this. So, final scene, Ash returns to find the cellar door open and Cheryl attacks him. He runs back into the cellar to find a box of shotgun shells and experiences a strange series of events, including the cellar filling with blood and hearing things in his mind. Back upstairs, Cheryl and Scotty come at Ash again. He's able to kill everyone by putting the Book of the Dead into the fireplace. Thinking he's survived the ordeal, he attempts to leave, but the evil force attacks him.
Hell yeah, man. When he goes down to the basement again and is just like looking at the pipes, like of them like clanging and making noise, and the camera's like zooming in and like kind of doing a Dutch at the same time, but then it's like going in on his eyes. It's just that tension building, only to just have it burst on him and blood just pour onto. It's just so funny to me.
Yeah,
I love that shot so much.
See, this is where it becomes where I think that you're drawing the line or trying to find the line between comedy and horror, and it's like, are we sure that's not supposed to be funny?
Oh yeah.
Or it's just supposed to be disgusting. Is this like the Double Dare effect? Like, because that's just what it is. It's like, oh, you got slimed. Ooh, that's fun, right, guys? That's disgusting.
Scare your sister.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll think you're interesting.
Yeah.
They said I have a theory that I think this real life cabin was actual haunted, because you said they filmed this in a real life abandoned cabin. The property owner granted the production crew to like lease the cabin under the condition that any modifications made would be undone.
Okay.
Which is so like, that's a fucking red flag. It's an abandoned cabin. Who gives a shit what you do there?
The thing that they do probably would upgrade it a little bit.
Yeah. But he's like, no, don't do anything. And whatever you do, you got to undo it. So I'm thinking, in fact, that place has since burned down.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that remains is the fireplace.
So like, I'm theory. Raimi said he burned it down.
Really?
I read that somewhere. I don't know if that was, but they're saying it happened.
So I heard some squatters did it, but who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
But I think it was haunted. I think that place was genuinely, truly, actually haunted, and that's why the guy was just keeping it there. He's like, don't go in there.
Okay.
You don't fucking touch anything. But yeah, if you want to film your stupid movie in there, go ahead.
You don't want to go down that road there. No, you don't want to stay at that cabin. No, you want to put it all back to the way you found it.
Are you Fred Gwynn from Pet Cemetery?
No, I hope so. I have no idea. Just doing
Don't let him go on the road, Lewis.
Don't let him. Yeah, if it actually was haunted and that guy did in fact just let them use that, it's kind of messed up.
It is.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's just pure nonstop gore.
Yeah.
Up until the end of this movie, what do you think about like burning the book as the trope to destroy the demons?
I didn't see it coming. Not at all. Like I normally will. I'll let it happen. Like I'm not the guy that's going. I know exactly. Fake. The village. It was real. It was like modern day. I know it. I'm like, I wasn't doing that. I would, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, I wonder if that's gonna be what. And I never once thought, oh, destroy the book. Like it never entered my mind at all.
Well, and then you should probably destroy the tape recording then too.
Yeah,
Maybe
you should
that's
probably
kind of a thing.
Yeah, you got to record over
You have to
what
play
it
it
was.
if you play it in reverse, do they go back to
Yeah,
the
see, does it reverse everything?
Oh!
He just reads Old Man and the Sea over the recording of the Book of the Dead reading. It was 1948.
Dude, the creepiest thing for me, I think, is all this, the bones cracking when they're all dead now. Like there's that,
Yeah,
and then they're decomposing. All that stop motion footage that they did,
super cool,
unbelievable. Like you can't take your eyes off that while it's happening.
Yeah, they were obviously out of money at this point, but they realized, well, we still got some of the catering budget. So let's. Is there any milk and cream corn? Yeah, let's do that.
You guys still got some food
Because
left?
that's literally what they
and
use.
some of it's gone bad, so we'll just use the green from the mold that's on there.
Yeah, it's like it's just. It was like creamed corn. They said like this stuff that was
out.
like the stuff that like keeps squirting out. The white stuff is 2% milk or whatever.
What the fuck?
And it's just they got all this food that's just coming out of people. I don't know. It's really, really strange, and it's just disgusting.
These were all reshoots and then like added in after they got done at the cabin and everything like that.
Wow.
They just like filmed it they filmed various reshoots in like several other cabins. Like Bruce Campbell's parents had a cabin.
How are you cleaning this up?
Dude, I know. And then
Yeah.
like Sam Raimi's garage, Bruce Campbell's garage, they would just film random pickups here and there, and a lot of the stop motion they did.
It's
Imagine
amazing.
what that smelled like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
and god damn it, I hate false hope in movies.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, he's gonna make it because he's the star of the rest of the. What? No. And so I've never seen The Evil Dead 2, but then I was trying to read up on it. It's like
Spoilers.
the same plot, right?
It's pretty much the same movie.
But why? What's going on there? How do they justify that?
What I heard was Sam Raimi, like, cause he for the Video Nasties, he actually had to go to the UK and defend the movie, and he was so like put off by that they were like didn't like see the comedy in it. Is that he wanted to make the sequel more fun and overtly comedic.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And so a lot of it was just it's a bigger budget. And a lot of it is just pretty much like Three Stooges slapstick mixed with horror.
Okay.
And I gotta say, you guys, if we'll see what your ratings are at the end of this, but Evil Dead 2 is by far, and people have their bias and everything, by far superior to Evil Dead.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
One of the greatest sequels ever made, and I'm gonna
Okay.
okay.
All right, just calm down.
Well, I mean,
That and Devil's Rejects. So can you?
I have no idea what you're talking
Okay,
about.
cool.
well, just for reference, like, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes is on Evil Dead 2?
I would probably say, for some reason, it's probably lower.
It is 95.
Is it really?
Which means that the critics think that Evil Dead 2 is better than Terminator 2.
Oh.
Fuck yeah, dude.
However,
Oh, no.
however,
I love that.
the IMDb score of Evil Dead 2 is 7.7, which is higher than Evil Dead 1. However, the IMDb score for Terminator 2 is 8.5.
Well,
so fans like Terminator 2 better. Critics apparently like Evil Dead 2 better.
IMDb got rid of the message boards. They can go suck a tree limb.
Suck a preliminary tree limb. So anything else you guys got on this?
I'm happy kind of the way it was, and like I say, I think they left it kind of ambiguous at the end. It was we don't know if he actually died, and but it was cool that they got to make more of these, I guess,
Yeah.
and continue on.
You're a bastard.
Congratulations for them.
Whatever they fucking did.
You got your fucking belt, you bastard.
He came to do two things: get a belt and tear down Evil Dead. All right, so we have stripped this movie from pure nostalgia, and we have divulged everything we knew about it, and have looked at it with a modern eye to try to come up with a modern day rating. AJ, I'm going to start with you on this one. What do you think?
So I probably don't dislike this as much as you think I do, I guess.
The best part is they're looking at each other straight in the eye across the table, and AJ is having trouble making eye contact.
I am. And so I thought it was interesting, and the entire movie I was just caught in this battle of like, is this supposed to be tropey? Is it creating the tropes? Is it defining a genre? Is it making fun of a genre? And I'm just constantly caught in this battle of like, do I care as a person who doesn't necessarily enjoy horror movies, right? And that's the thing. I don't. And personally, FYI, this is tough because I don't think you should write or give a review of something or of a thing that you don't enjoy. Just gonna lay that out.
That's
there.
true.
So that
But
being said, but I have to. And so that being said, I have to pull away the fact that I don't like horror, and I have to judge this accordingly. And so that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and give this a 5.5.
5.5. I'll go next, so we can leave Shaun out with it. I am not. I do love scary movies. I'm the in between person of you two. Like, Shaun's way in there, AJ's out. I'm like, I like the ones I like.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus,
Trick or Treat.
yeah, whatever.
It's pretty spooky.
Whoa.
Just anthology horror.
Right. And so I the one thing I really don't like, because it fucking terrifies me, is like demonic things.
Okay.
Like, oh man, that's the thing that I'm like, that could be real. Like, I'll watch a movie about witches because, by the way, there was no such thing as witches, and I'll just be like, cool, like there's no such thing as witches. This, I'm like, fuck, what if that? Oh man. Yeah. I don't want that to happen to me. You know, Paranormal Activity, no. Please don't happen to me.
Please nah.
So this is very hard to watch because, man, like, it just pours on of the stuff I don't want to see. But my God, I mean, I can see it for what it is. This is such an important movie in the genre that has given us the things we want, and that true horror fans have been living for since this came out. You know, so I can't. It's like, and this is a dude. I'm so sorry for making this comparison.
Go ahead.
I can listen to modern day country music and go, well, I don't really like this, but I fully 100% understand why this is popular and why people love this. So again, I can't. It feels weird to give a rating to something you're just like, I don't know. But I'm a 6.45 on this one. Definitely excited to see the second one and see how I feel about that.
I highly recommend it. I'll just start off by saying that, like, we couldn't find this movie streaming anywhere, and I still don't know if it is or not. And so I was so excited when I got the text from Mike in our little chat that we have. Was like, I don't know how to watch this, and I'm like, I got you, bro.
Shaun came over at like 11 o'clock at night. And
we live like 10 minutes from each other. I'm like, I just brought my Blu-ray over and I dropped it off his house, and I felt so accomplished.
What you don't understand is that me and AJ had a text thread going on. Let's see if we can get out of this somehow.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was an option.
Oh, dude, I don't know. We just can't find it anywhere.
I wasn't gonna let it happen. You know.
We'll just do Hocus Pocus again.
Oh, yeah.
And not only did I bring this over to Mike's house, I made AJ buy a copy. And so I'm so happy with that. But I might surprise you with my rating on this. I do think that it's kind of revolutionary and invented so much of what the genre is nowadays, and what we love about the genre. It's so inventive, and I think it even for filmmaking wise, obviously we said in the episode with Joel and Ethan Coen was inspired by Evil Dead. I mean, that's crazy to think about. The performances are they're good for a crazy ass horror movie that's just drenched in blood the entire time. The effects, you can't recreate these. No. You have to have the mind of this group to even do this movie. I do think it's one of those movies that's kind of once in a lifetime, and they honestly did it 2 times. Speaking, but honestly, I prefer the second one like immensely over this one. So I was a 7 before 8.
You were an 8.
I was an 8. I'm a 6.99.
6.99. That is surprising, man. So if there was not a second one, would that be a higher rating? Is the second one the reason that rating's coming down?
No. I honestly I think that well, in a way, yes. That Evil Dead 2 took everything that I like about Evil Dead, the first one, and amped it up to the nth degree.
Right.
Evil Dead is like a great, cool, atmospheric one of these demonic possession movies that's just also fun and gory, but also it kind of meanders a little bit for me towards the end, and that's why I kind of knock it a little bit.
Well, that gives our overall modern-day rating a 6.31. That is just below Roadhouse, which we've just done, and just above Bloodsport. So that's where it's lying. That's where she will live for a little while until we decide to make a few edits to that, perhaps.
I feel great.
Three blood-soaked movies, right, guys?
Yeah, dude. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for being here. A bunch of great movies coming up. Next Monday, we got a bonus I've never seen episode, Parenthood, followed by Back to the Future and Aliens back to back. That's going to be insanity. If you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Ghostbusters, go back 2 years, Hocus Pocus.
Wow.
Great episodes. Hocus Pocus is fun to listen to because that is our first episode, and we had no fucking clue what we were doing.
Literally figuring out how to do a podcast with each other on the spot.
And it's real good. I will tell you that. And don't forget to leave us a voicemail. Call us at 319-804-9596. Here is today's caller.
Hey, guys. This is Revis. And I just wanted to say that, I love your podcast. Been listening to a long time before the whole Bert Kreischer craze thing started happening.
Appreciate that.
And you guys are amazing. I mean, shit. Just recently moved out to Idaho, and y'all have actually kind of kept my spirits up because it's kind of fucking dead out here. But I want to ask you guys, when the hell are you guys going to cover some Kevin Smith movies? I mean, I'm expecting to hear some Clerks or maybe even some James Bond Bob Strike Back. I feel like that would be right up your alley. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope the live stream went well. Looking forward to hearing more from you guys in the future. You guys take care. Peace.
Revis, you the man, dude.
Thanks,
Revis
man.
He definitely has been. He's one of our probably first 5 or 6 Patreon members.
That's
so
crazy.
It's awesome. It's awesome. That was what was cool about the live show, was meeting a couple people. You hear names, but you don't get to meet people.
Right.
And so hearing the voices of some of our really long time listeners is so awesome.
Yeah, on the Kevin Smith thing,
You're right.
I hope that our first one is Clerks, because I'll tell you right now that I think that movie deserves to be on the Library of Congress preserved.
If it's not,
I love that movie, and it's super fun. And you're right, we haven't gotten to it yet.
Clerks or Mallrats. That's my other big one.
That's what I meant. I meant Mallrats.
Oh, you I was gonna,
really?
Well, for me, it's Mallrats.
No, I love Mallrats.
Yeah. I can't wait to do that. Thank you so much, man.
There is a vote going on currently, so unfortunately, the vote has ended. And Clerks was one of the movies that our Patreon members were going to decide on, and it did not win. It came in second place, right behind. I won't tell you. Oh, Hook. Hook beat out Clerks.
Hook.
Wow.
So the only way to change that is to join our Patreon,
right.
which is what you guys can do to help support us. Other than sharing this podcast, that's the best way you can support us. Go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. Join, vote on videos, listen to bonus audio content. What else, boys?
All the stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you, because you need to go find us on social media at Confused Breakfast. Just about anywhere you can find a thing on the internet, just look for Confused Breakfast. Also, confusedbreakfast.com for anything that is relevant to us. Listen to the show, watch the show, check out our ratings, confusedbreakfast.com.
Go to that same damn website, confusedbreakfast.com, and find all of our merch there. You can put some shirts on your body, say our name on it. They say some cool sayings like Humanize the Goons or Pryor and Son's pre-funeral home. You can get some of that. Get some hats, get some hoodies, get whatever you want. Just go confusedbreakfast.com.
And on that new website, you can check out, we have all of our ratings, our group ratings, our individual ratings. You can go look at that, all the movies we've done, and start making comparisons. So I think that's about it. We'll go see you next time.
Love you. Goodbye.
Happy Halloween! What did we just do?
Did we all get possessed?